Hello, princess. It's me. It's Daniel. Sorry, I didn't mean to infantilize you like that. Anyway, today's subreddit is going to be Am I Overreacting? Where people are figuring out whether or not they're overreacting to a situation. Starting with this one. Am I overreacting for dropping him after he told me I need to make more friends? Woof. Always good advice, you know, having friends. Is it something you need to say to strangers? Probably not, but let's find out. Have you decided whether you want to be alone this weekend? You don't have any plans this weekend? Can I tell you something? Like, not on the phone? Okay. I had an ex-girlfriend over a year ago. You're back together. All right, start off strong. One time she left her phone unlocked and her text messages open. No, they're not back together. You learn more by listening than interrupting. Name. Wow, okay, so he just kind of cracked the whip at you a little bit. So she left her text messages open and I was the only person that she had talked to that entire day. And then replies are like, okay, I'll make other plans. Haha, no, what I'm saying is that sort of behavior is extremely unhealthy. Making a guy the center of your world, even if you didn't go out of your way to self-sabotage, which you do, you need to have other things to do. Okay, now he is really going in deep right now. Am I wrong here? I mean, this dude is just straight up being like, you self-sabotage, your behavior is extremely unhealthy, your whole world is revolved around me. That's kind of a nutbag thing to say to somebody, isn't it? A little bit. I don't know. There's more detail down here. We'll find out. She responds by saying this. Okay, I did not want this to turn into a life lesson. I just wanted to hang out. Yes, well, it is a life lesson, and then her name. And then she goes, maybe this is a bad idea. He goes, maybe it is. Okay, well, goodbye, I guess. Crazy response from him. Let me take a step back. Is it true that your partner should be the only person you talk to all the time? Of course not. Have friends. That's good, right? But if you're with somebody and you like them and you like hanging out with them and they ask to hang out and your response is, you know, I once dated somebody who only talked to me and that's real bad. That's kind of tough, isn't it? Doesn't really feel like a nice conversation to have. Let's read some context here. It says, I've been in this relationship with this guy and one of the biggest critiques of me has been my small social circle. A lot of my friends have moved. I do have some activities and I have a great job, but usually I don't have weekend plans. I have amazing friends and people I talk to daily, but I don't have plans every single weekend, especially since my friends moved. I had a lot of friends in college when I was going out every weekend, but I don't want to do that. Back when I had a nice boyfriend, we planned stuff every weekend and it never felt unhealthy. I also have brunch with my family every Sunday, but I guess that's not cool. Okay, well, I mean, let's pause here. Let's just read what she says here. I have amazing friends and people I talk to daily, which means she has friends, which means this guy is like weirdly self-aggrandizing and also surprise talking about. Yeah, that one wasn't so predictable, was it? Yeah, that's right. I keep you on your toes on this channel. Y'all better be taking propanol and your beta blockers, because you're gonna be suffering from a heart attack from the sheer surprise of my microphone. Can I get an amen in the chat? Amen. All right, now time to rip open this water bottle. Can I tell you something, dude? I was at the gym this morning and I freaking lost this water. I lost my other water bottle, my other Stanley that cost me $40 freaking dollars. It was light blue. It's gone now forever. Why? I think I left it at the gym or the grocery store or something a while ago. So I bought this new one, and as I was leaving the gym today, guess what? I freaking lost it as well. I lost it as well. I'm leaving the gym. I'm in my car. I have a smoothie and a caffeinated beverage. I go, hey, where the is my water bottle? I'm pretty sure I brought it here. So I did. I went, oh, I definitely left it somewhere. Turn around, go to the grocery store where I got my smoothie. I go to the gym. I go to the locker room, and it's sitting on the bench of the locker room amongst like near the lockers and the stench of balls. So I washed it out and I have it now. But I almost just wasted another $40 on a freaking Stanley, dude. Pathetic. Pathetic. Back to this woman. You know what? Yeah, drop him. Regardless of if it's true or not, he's belittling you. He's belittling you. He's talking to you crazy. This guy's not healthy. Obviously, he's got some weird things going on. Yeah, I don't know. He's not ready for like a present partner. But I mean, because you do have friends, and whether or not you have a big or small social circle, whatever, dude. Let's see here. Let's go to the top comment. It says, I'd love to know how much time passed between and Seems like he wanted to make you feel bad enough about yourself to never request to hang out with him, but still be there for when he wants to hang out. I imagine he's in a bit of shock and denial that you actually walked away, and I love that for you. Not overreacting at all. Stay silent. Never speak to him again. He will keep trying to reach out. Teach him a lesson. Teach him a lesson. That's 2 teach him a lessons back to back, but the second one got a nice little happy boy. Yeah. Exactly. If she had lots of plans and never prioritized him, wasn't able to hang out at precisely the frequency that suited him, then he'd also be complaining. Lots of men expect women to sort of orbit around them, their career, their life plans, when things get serious. If they're boyfriend-girlfriend and he doesn't want to get together every weekend, he's probably got an avoidant attachment style, and that's one reason he finds it stressful that her social circle is small. But note, he chooses women with smaller social circles, so he likes people who have lots of availability for him. But also, like, as a man, would you immediately know whether or not your potential partner has a small or large social circle? Sometimes you just figure that shit out when you're dating them, right? Did he expect her to be like, no, babe, you're all I have. I only want to hang out with you. Cry, cry, cry. He also loses points for comparing her to his previous girlfriend. Yeah. Bring that up over text, why don't you? Jesus. I think it's healthy for both of you to have your own support system, but he's being needlessly patronizing and rude. It doesn't sound like he's saying it out of concern for you, but more like he's being holier than thou, which is gross. Agree. I think the sentiment is right. Men also have a big problem. I think it's like, don't make your partner your therapist. Like, a lot of dudes, a lot of married dudes, a lot of people grow up and they're married or they're settled down with their wife, whatever. They only talk to their partner. And look, it's true. I do think that your partner should be, in a way, your best friend. I think they should be like the first person you think about when you experience a joy, and the first person you want to talk to when you're experiencing a hardship. I think that's true, right? I think that's fair and honest and nice. However, I also think it's important to where you don't funnel the weight of your existence into one person. You spread that out. You have colleagues at work that you can talk to about the work stuff and workshop the work stuff. So you don't go home and tell your wife you accidentally tripped over a nuclear fusion button and blew up the sun. I don't know. Or, you have a therapist that you talk to, and so that way, your innermost thoughts, your bad childhood or whatever you talk to about with the therapist, just to process that first, and then eventually, if you want to bring it up, you can. I don't know, man. There's men in particular need more friends for sure, and women do too. The girly pops need each other, but it's tough, be an adult, and your friends move away, and this woman, her friends have all moved away. It's tough cookies, Absolutely, the advice of have a life outside your partner is absolutely real and good advice, but like asking your partner, significant other, if they want to hang out this weekend and them responding with, shame you have no other friends, too bad your whole world revolves around me, is fucking bonkers. Like, bro, if you're busy, then just say that and make plans to hang out at a different time. And if you're not busy, then hang out with your girl, unless you don't want to hang out with your girl, in which case, why is she your girl? Also, you learn more by listening than talking, and it is a life lesson, blah, blah. What a prick. Yeah, agreed, 100%. Yeah, this guy sucks. No, you're not overreacting. Dump his ass. Next story. Am I overreacting for wanting to cancel my wedding over this interaction? She says, I hope you have a good day today. And he goes, I love my wife. And then, she hearts it. Very sweet, very cute. She keeps going, it makes me so sad when you leave without saying goodbye, crying emoji. And then he goes, it's always something. Okay, thus begins the round of fisticuffs here. She goes, this is a known fact, though. Why is it difficult for you to say, I'm sorry, babe? And then he says, all the way off, so entitled. I was teasing before, but damn, just stop acting like this all the time. You're 30, right? All right, so I wonder what happened here. I think there had to have been something right after the I love my wife, and then this happened. This is a lot. Just all the way off alone. Like, never talk to your partner like that. Look, some people have higher thresholds of how you. Me personally, dude, I'm not talking to my partner that way. I'm not using the F word. I'm not using the B word. I'm none of that, dude. Those words are not coming out of my mouth at my partner ever, dude, ever. Because that's just, once you open that can of worms, I don't know. I think some things in life should remain sovereign, right? Is sovereign the word I'm looking for? Sacred. What is sovereign? Isn't that like nation? What is sovereign? Hold on. Sovereign is a person, organization, state, presume absolute independent power, authority. That's not what I meant. I meant sacred. It's always something was not a tease. That was real. You're almost 30 and you can learn how to communicate with your partner, right? Okay, so tit for tat here. And then her fiance, her future betrothed says, have you ever stopped to consider how exhausting it is to deal with someone who stomps their feet and demands an apology for not getting their goodbye kissy in the morning? I desperately yearn to date an adult woman. Hey, guess what? That's your fiance, pal. If you're gonna whine about your fiance, why did you propose? If you desperately yearn to date an adult woman, what are you doing? People who complain about their spouse or their fiance or their wife publicly or even to the other person. It's just like, talk about it like adults, man. If you are complaining about your spouse, your partner, your wife, blah, assuming, that you're not reaching out for help, or there's like a dangerous at-home situation where you're seeking help, right? Where you're actually seeking change. If you're just complaining to hear the sound of your hot breath slap somebody's timpani drums, dude. Timpanis? Inner ear? What am I thinking? Not timpanis, damn it. Inner ear drum called tympanic membrane. If you're just complaining to complain, stop it.
Get some help.
Have you ever stopped to consider how exhausting it is to ask for the bare minimum and not even get that? I desperately yearn to date a considerate man. Also, good morning kisses are easy, dude. Mwah. Bye. Who cares if the breath is hot? You know what I'm saying? Who cares if it's a little stanky? It's good morning breath, it stinks. Close them, keep the mouth closed. Mwah. Bye, babe, love you. Whoop. You can do that, easy. I will say this. One time I was in a relationship. I said goodbye, I love you, and she was kind of mad at me for something. Nothing major. I was like, all right, goodbye, I'm heading home, love you. And it was like, it was a good 35, 40-minute drive back home to my place. And she didn't say it back. She didn't want to kiss me goodbye. She didn't want to say I love you when I was about to go drive. And I was like, oh, you should probably say it back. I'm about to go. And she didn't. And that really bugged me, for real. I don't know. Something was weird about that. Just a sidebar. But, you think about that kind of stuff. Like, I think it's a red flag to not say I love you back. Even if you're slightly annoyed or upset, I don't know. Where do you guys stand with that? I, for one, I feel like even if I'm upset with my partner, we've been together long enough and we have a habit of saying I love you. If I'm upset with you, I'm going to say it back. Unless I don't, in that case, we should have a much bigger conversation, but I'm going to say it back, especially if you're driving somewhere. I don't know. Probably because my parents work in hospitals and I hear worst case scenarios all the time. Moving on, you got I love my wife and turned it into this argument. I'm not the problem here. After I reached out to you. You know how important those little moments of connection are for me. Moving those goalposts, oh God, end it. End it right there. Yeah, this is it. This is it. She goes, no, I'm not. You're just mad that you can't score. I've told you how important it is to me dozens of times. Yeah, that's my point. At age 30, you should not be crashing out because you didn't get a morning kiss. At 6 years in, you should know that it's important to me. Okay, I don't know if I believe this conversation. I don't know if I believe it anymore. They're being really expository here, but let's pretend. Let's pretend that this is real. Guy says, you should know how important it is to me to have a partner that doesn't start fights over this kind of stuff, but I've never got that consideration even once. I give you what you want because you throw a fit. She goes, I've gotten much better at getting over things, but I shouldn't have to blow past absolutely everything. This is a small thing that doesn't take much time or energy from you, but means the world to me. I do not understand why it's difficult, but if I'm asking too much, then great. I'll lower the bar for you. Hey, go to couples therapy. If you actually want to get married for real, this should not be this is a weird blowout text. Also, like, texting arguments are so bad because you need to hear their voice over the phone, Sometimes, like, you don't want the tone to get misconstrued. This is what I would call a critical conversation, because if you are engaged to be married, and you're getting long paragraphs like this, dude, hell no, man. Hell no. I had a hard morning and I needed to leave to catch the bus. You don't care about that at all, though. It's all about you getting what you want, even if it's the most insignificant and childish hill to die on. It's childish to want to get a smooch from your partner. Fellas, is it childish to want to kiss your partner? She responds, I'm sorry you had a hard morning. Of course I care about that, which is a really sweet response. She's trying to demonstrate empathy here, and he replied, then why didn't you ask? You just went straight to, why is it difficult for you to say, I'm sorry, babe, you don't care at all. Fuck off. Don't text me again. She goes, hey, blank, I love you immensely. And he says, remember when I was complaining about how I'm sick of being nagged and pestered at the time? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Spend the next 8 hours of silence thinking about your good morning kiss and ask yourself if this fight was worth it. Wow. Yeah, dude. Wow. What a dick. Assuming that this is real, and you never know, but let's assume this is real, right? People who have these kind of conversations with each other, they're out there, man. These fights happen all the time. If you're talking to your partner and he says shit to you like, don't fuck off and don't text me again and stuff like that, that ain't it, dude. You don't want that. You don't want somebody who like swings the hammer of consequence over really stupid stuff, Jesus, man, what a dork. From my view, I'm really rooting for blue text here. Let's keep reading. It says here, for reference, my fiance and I have been together for 6 years. I am a feelings-based person who has tried really hard to meet him where he's at. He is a strictly logical person who puts little value on feelings. You equals feelings. He equals no value feelings. If we're to use transitive properties here, he equals no value you. Is that the math? That's a horrifying sound. I do not like that sound at all. Why are you on my synthesizer, guy? Okay, no, that one was fun. She continues to say, I texted him after I heard the apartment door close this morning, so that's when she said, it makes me sad when you leave without saying goodbye. I'm really tired of asking for the bare minimum and being berated when I try to stand up for myself. We are supposed to be getting married in September, and it's moments like this where I wonder if the good outweighs the bad. Am I overreacting? Hey, what happens if you have a kid, you have a daughter? Huh? And your daughter's like, Daddy, I love you. And he's like, shut up, I gotta go to work. Is that what you want? I'm not picking up Tabitha's birthday cake. You know why? Because I had a hard morning. You want to co-parent with this person? Forget co-parenting. You want to take care of your parents and his parents when they're old? Huh? How's that gonna be? In sickness and in health? In financial success and financial woe? How's that gonna be, dude? Probably pretty bad. Top comment here is kind of how I'm feeling. Do you two even like each other? Reply says, nope. If my wife ever told me to f*** off and to spend the next 8 hours in silence thinking about what I did, she would not be my wife anymore. Just as I hope she would do the same if I treated her like garbage like that. It is wild to me, the amount of shit people put up with from their partners. Op and her fiance need to be in pre-marriage counseling at a bare minimum. They obviously don't know how to communicate with each other, and I can't imagine how miserable that's going to make things when they have all their assets combined and need to talk to each other like adults to address important life issues. And then the next comment with even more upvotes says, do not get married. Reply says, honestly, I know a couple who talks identical to this, and they're the most miserable married couple I've ever met. I guarantee it's exhausting for everyone around them. Dude, being around a married couple where they're just bickering like that all day long. Oh no, man. God, what a train wreck. Been there. You've been there, right? Right, guys? This person says, I've never been in a relationship where someone has used that kind of language to speak to me, and I've been in bad relationships. People don't start insulting and cursing. It is a slippery slope. Yeah, totally. I second not getting married and honestly don't know how they've been together this long with such fundamentally different needs. Yeah, you don't talk to each other like that. You don't cuss at your partner, dude. F off, F all the way off. And then this person says, I used to be with someone who spoke to me like this. I got used to it to a point, but it broke me eventually. I'm now married to a wonderful man. We've argued, not much. We've disagreed, but we have never, ever said anything like this to each other. You shouldn't accept it. You know, it makes me really happy to see a lot of the comments kind of echoing my thinking is like, this should be a pretty normal value to not want to talk to your spouse or partner like this. It should be a sacred thing. Same thing, you know, you shouldn't talk to your kids like this. You shouldn't talk to your parents like this unless something like insane happens. But even then, I wouldn't really talk to your, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Things in life should be sacred, in my opinion. And I think this is one of those things. You respond to F off, don't text me again with I love you immensely. Not overreacting, but everyone sucks here. You both sound like middle schoolers who desperately need therapy. Yeah, I've been to therapy once. A bit of a tragedy here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this really, really big dog. Really big chubbaroni, dude. Look at this dog. Also, you know, to use photography terms for a second, look at this bokeh. This is a creamy lens. I'm going to teach you something right now. Bokeh is whenever you see like soft bubbles like that in the background, really creamy, kind of like super sharp at one point, and then bokeh is what this is called. The little dots here in the back. This is a really creamy bokeh, really nice photo, dude. I gotta stop saying creamy, but every time I say creamy bokeh, I feel a little grossed out. So I'm gonna stop saying it. But look at this chubby little dog. Got a bandana. What's on the bandana? A bunch of ice creams. Moving on. Oh yeah, kitties. Cow! Am I overreacting? My roommate left over 400 nitrous tanks in our living room. And then here we have a photo of what I assumed to be about 400 nitrous tanks in what seems to be a living room. Bunch of cardboard boxes here taped up with barcodes on it. Let's read. I, 21-year-old male, recently moved in with my roommate, 22-year-old male, a couple months ago. We aren't very close. However, things have been mostly smooth, and we haven't had any problems. I understand he has side hustles. However, I believe this one has crossed the line. 2 days ago, he had 400 nitrous oxide tanks delivered to the apartment, and they have been sitting in a messy pile, taking up the entire living room and entryway ever since. Wait, what? This has just been there? I've asked him multiple times to move them. He keeps on telling me he'll do it later, but it's been 2 days, and honestly, I don't know what to do. Any advice? I'm worried he might have a substance abuse issue, so I'm afraid to be too assertive. What a mess, dude. I don't even want to say the word here because I feel like if I say the word, it'll get flagged because it's a particular, you know, substance. Oh, by the way, have you ever heard of the type of dog whippets? Yeah, this is a whippet. Completely unrelated. But I'm wondering if this has to do with the dog. You know what I'm saying? But I actually don't know what those are. Yeah, I'm a good boy. Crazy if true. And if he's selling these to those types of people, you know, the ones who go to fish concerts, and I know that because there was a fish concert here in LA and I saw people huffing stuff and like anyway, this is just the most insane scenario I've ever seen. No, I think you gotta do something. If you get the landlord involved or you get the cops involved, then you're ruining this guy's life, you know, whatever, depending on what it is. But if he's legally buying these from somewhere and he's selling them legally, you just gotta figure out how to move it. This looks like fun to move too. It reminds me of Lincoln Logs when I was a kid, dude. Oh my God, this is what it reminds me of. God, I used to love this. You know, just shove them all in it, you know, stack them up neatly against a corner somewhere. That'd be fun, right? Let's see what the comments have to say. It says, not overreacting. He's either addicted to nitrous or buying in bulk and then selling them at an upcharge. Either way, I wouldn't want anything to do with it. As far as where he's leaving them, definitely be more assertive and tell him to get his mess out of the middle of the floor. Tell him that you don't care what he's doing with it, but he needs to keep his stuff in his space. And the reply here says, he's probably just making a lot of whipped cream. And the reply to that says, let the man cream! You guys ever heard of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Okay. I'm not having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I got distracted. All right, also, this is a massive fire hazard. NO2 is so good at helping things burn that there were studies on using it as an oxidizing agent in rocket fuel. A lot of rocket hobbyists do use it in their homemade rockets. Supposed to say hobbyist? That shit is really dangerous. Okay, great. What happened to your thumbs there when you were typing that out, my G? The thing that I know about CO2 or whatever, you know, you put that in a whipped cream canister. I used to be a soda jerk at this place called Leopold's Ice Cream in Savannah, Georgia. Very delicious, top 10 ranked ice cream in the United States. And the reason why it's so good is because, boy, you should not eat a lot of it because that high calorie stuff, you know what I'm saying? However, you take a little CO2. You ever make fresh whipped cream? Take CO2, you put that in the cap there, you shake the thing, and you spray it. So good. Shove them all into his room. Problem solved. Now the reply here says put them all on his bed. Did that with a former roommate's dirty dishes years ago after they'd sat in the sink for 2 weeks while his other roommates reminded him it was the best. I mean, damn, sometimes you just gotta be that dude, man. I did this to a college roommate and he straight up slept with the dishes. When he got up the next day, you could see his body outline from where he slid some out of the way. Yikes, dude. People are just tired. I did this with a former roommate. Dirty clothes left on the floor, dishes left out, trash, random objects she left laying around. At first, all went in a tub left in her room, but then she would just ignore it. Dishes would get moldy. Tubs full of her junk would pile up, so I just started dumping it all on her bed, which also didn't really work. She would just push it on the floor. It was my home. She wasn't on any paperwork or anything. It started as a letting a friend crash on my couch type situation, but one day I got so sick of her, I got some free cardboard boxes and packed up her whole room, and I really mean the whole thing. Moldy plates in the box, pile of dead ants in the box, used feminine item. She left on the floor, in the box it goes. When she came back over from her shitty boyfriend's house, I handed them a couple of boxes and told her boyfriend to have fun with her. Nice. Everybody's saying it's egregious. Everybody's saying it's nasty. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dog. Get out of there. Speaking of whipped cream, look at this cow, huh? Wow, dude. Heck yeah, dude. These cows that's a carbon copy of the mom. Jeez Louise. This is a clone? Nellie and Kelly. Yes. I love cows. Next story here says, am I overreacting or is my work friend being a bit pushy? They deleted their username, which makes me confident that this story is gonna be juicy. Op says, thanks for understanding. I hope this doesn't make it weird. And then the other person replied, no problem. And no, it isn't weird. I misread the situation and that is completely on me. Just friends is probably better given we work together. Oh, I'm glad. So they tried to make it. They just got friend zoned. We are right here in the middle of the action. It continues. Guy says, if you aren't already asleep, just wanted to say goodnight and hope you are feeling safer tonight. Let me know if these messages make you uncomfortable. Yeah. You don't need to wish me good night. It sounds like you just got friend zoned, now you're wishing me good night. I think we're okay here. No, that's really sweet, thanks. Going to sleep soon, good night. You didn't work today, everything all right? Wanted to text earlier, but wanted to wait and see if you texted first. Yeah, I'm okay, don't worry. Just had a few things to take care of on campus. Good, with everything going on, I got nervous. I'll see you at work Thursday, right? As of right now, yep. See you then. Okay, so coworkers, he's like saying, is everything all right? Good night, sleep well, hello? And then name, I assume. Are you all right over there by yourself? I'm going to assume you are asleep if you don't respond, but if you don't text me back in the morning, I will be worried. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was in the shower. Good night. Hope I don't stress you too bad. She's being very sweet. He is being, I do not like this man. I'm just glad you're okay. Are you sure you don't want someone staying with you? Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you for the offer. I feel like if we really are just friends, we shouldn't stay together like that, you know? Sorry if it sounds weird. It's just how I see it, I guess. No, that's right. He goes, of course, I respect that, even though I hope you know I would never try something like that in a situation like this. Do you have anyone else that can stay with you, family or friends? She replies, like I said, I think I'm okay on my own for now until I figure out exactly what's going on. I don't want to have anyone over, to be honest. All right, well, let me know if you change your mind. Good night. Good night, I will. Yeah, dude's being strange. Let's read the description here. It says, my coworker is male 40s, just found out actual age, and I am female 19. Collecting my thoughts, collecting my feelings, picking them up, putting them in a little chest in my heart, locking it with a key, opening up the chest, unlocking it with a key. What the fuck? We went on one date about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I never brought it up again because I wasn't super interested in a dating thing, just friends. He didn't get the memo until I spelled it out for him, and he said it was perfectly fine. Good. Now he is messaging me every day, multiple times a day, and good night every night. Also sending texts back to back if I don't respond right away. Honestly, if he wasn't interested in me romantically, I probably wouldn't think this way, so am I overreacting? I don't want to misread this, LOL. Look, if he's messaging you multiple times a day and messaging you goodnight and getting weird about, he's doing relationship-y things with somebody he's not in a relationship with, this is strange. Just be like, hey, I need you to stop messaging me like that. I'm not interested. Honestly, dude, talk to your manager about this. Like, eventually, if he doesn't get the hint from you directly, one of you has to leave that job. Point blank, period. One of you's got to leave that job. Something's off here. Guy is in a much different place in his life than you are, you know, and he's talking to you in a way that he sees you like his girlfriend or like his daughter or something. I don't know what it is, dude. It's some weird thing is happening, and you've already expressly said you don't. Yeah, this guy's being a weirdo. Let's see some of the edits here. I've stopped responding about anything other than work. I've changed my texting style to be a bit more dull/blunt. No more heart emojis or emojis in general. I get it. Edit 2. It says, I have sent one final text that reads, you are making me uncomfortable. Going forward, my communication between us must be strictly about work, at work, and through work email. Ooh. That's good. I like that. Yeah, through email. Good. Please do not contact my personal number again for any reason whatsoever. And then thank you to the person in my DMs that has helped me with this. Genuinely, I can't believe I have to go to work with him tomorrow. Oh my God. And then here we go. The bottom edit says, I have realized slowly now that this guy has been grooming me since I was in my last semester of high school when I started working with him. I feel sick. I feel stupid. F. Hey, folks. Hey, lock in. Look at me. Look at me. We got this. We're going to make it through. Let's read a couple comments. We're going to go to eye bleach. We're going to look at maybe a cow, maybe a dog, maybe a puppy, and we're going to forget this ever happened. Because only good things happen here on this channel. Top comment says, coworker. Okay, great. Yeah, I got it. Agree. Totally just friends. 10 minutes later. So tell me, what you wearing? Yikes. The reply here says, please pretend someone is staying with you. It's scary that he keeps asking if you're alone. I completely agree with that. I 100% endorse that. Yes. If ever there was a time to have a fictional boyfriend, God forbid that this is something you have to do, because I think that's so stupid, and I don't think you have to do it, but might be something to think about. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, or get a strap, you know what I'm saying, get a little gat in your house, get a little mace by the front door, stick a knife under your pillow, grab a taser, the one that shoots, and get it under your bed, baby. Anyway, or at least tell the guy she took care of it by adding security cameras and alarm just to deter him. If nothing else, you make a great point here. I have my Doberman Bruno to keep me company. Dobermans are beautiful. Even if there was no date, this would be weird from a coworker. This is very uncomfortable to read, not overreacting, but I do think you need to take some responsibility and set a clear boundary. Don't say that's sweet and add heart emojis. Yeah, that's true. Even if it makes work a little awkward, you need to firmly put a stop to this. You do not need a 30-year-old male friend anymore than you need a 30-year-old boyfriend. And the fact that he's in his 40s is very cool as well. Not overreacting, gross, he's weird AF. You don't realize it when you're 19, but 30 and 19 are very, very different. The amount of years a 30-year-old has been in the adult world after leaving high school is about the same amount of time as they or you spent in school if you started age 6. That's a huge difference in life experience compared to someone who would have just left high school last year. The energy he's giving is manipulative. He's speaking to you in a protective / fatherly manner, but has been open about wanting to date you. This says to me he wants to date someone that he views as smaller, weaker, or less than him. And even though I'm sure he thinks he's a good guy, that is a recipe for a disaster. No man I know, I'm 30, is friends with a 19-year-old girl. It's freaking weird. And then Op reply, they said, when you put it like that, it is really freaking weird. Ew. Not overreacting. Trust your gut. I've seen this so many times throughout my life. It is not innocent. At this point, for me personally, talk to your manager or something. Talk to somebody, because this guy's being fucking weird, dude. He's a weirdo. And you know what's not weird is this cute little dog. How's that for emotional whiplash? Huh? But I got you. I'm taking care of you, okay? Look at this. Next one. Dude, look at that. Bramble the small lamb. Got him for free from a farmer 3 years ago. Nowadays, he's a big boy who acts like he owns the farm. Let's take a look at Bramble here for a second. Let's look at Bramble. Bramble looks like he could headbutt the hell out of that 40-year-old we were just talking about. Huh? Sheep's eyes are crazy. The rectangle, why do they have that? Oh, yes! Oh, look at this. Look at this sheep. Bramble the sheep, it's 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 Bramble. This one's for Bramble. Bramble the sheep, it's 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 Bramble. Next story, am I overreacting for refusing to pay my ex back for gym stuff he bought me? $851.88 plus the £15 joining fee for gym. $1,790.8 for the clothes, question mark. Before you try blocking me again, this is the amount you owe me for your weight loss, the clothes, the gym membership, and the equipment I got you. Nice. I think there is a rule, generally speaking, that if you are together and it is assumed to be a gift, there is no legal cause for there to be a refund of situations. I think this happens in marriages a lot. You propose, you give a diamond ring. The assumption is they don't have to give it back. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. Oh, wow. You were serious? Blank, I motivated you to lose the weight and invested that money into the future of us. I am simply asking for that investment back. You used the money to get in shape and have now walked away. I broke up with you because you cheated on me, Blank. Investment? You told me they were gifts. No, you can't just decide a gift is a loan because you're upset. Agree. And that's probably how the law is going to see it. It's over 2,000 pounds, Blank. I drove you to the gym when you were unmotivated and pushed you every day to be better just for you to now leave. Pretty convenient if you ask me. Hey, you didn't deny the cheating. Did you cheat on her, homeboy? Do a little cheaty pie? Is that what happened? Hey, if you were still here, it wouldn't be a problem. You used me to get this version of yourself and then effed off. I expect the money in my account by the end of this week, or I will take you to small claims court. I have the bank statements. Go to court. Do it. You know what? And then you'll be headbutted by Bramble. Bramble the sheep. Talk about a bad case. Court, there's no signed agreement of me owing you anything, and I have multiple texts of you telling me to literally accept the gift because I was hesitant to at first. You have no leg to stand on. Move on, name. Is that what law school taught you? Does that mean she went to law school? If she did, you have no leg to stand on. This is what I get. A little gratitude would have gone a long way, Blank. Instead, you leave me because you feel attractive enough to get attention from other men. Didn't she just say you cheated on her? Where is that? Huh? Why is he not blocked right now, dude? This is crazy. You gave this to me as a gift. Gifts are not returnable. I won't be paying you for it. We are done here. Yeah, there you go. Let's read the description. Hi, everyone. I'm female 23. He's male 26. I've been with my boyfriend for just over 2 years. When we met, I was around 250 pounds. He knew my size from the start, and I didn't gain any weight during the relationship. He has always been super fit, was always really into the gym, and from early on, he would encourage me to lose weight. He never said it in a horrible way or anything. I took it as him wanting me to be healthier, and he was super encouraging. In January of 2025, I told him I was finally ready to start losing weight. He got really excited and surprised me with an annual gym membership, a bunch of gym clothes, home weights, a yoga mat, etc. I was hesitant about accepting such a big gift, but he insisted, so I accepted, and I was grateful. Fast forward to now, I have lost over 100 pounds. I ended the relationship last month after he admitted that he'd cheated very early on, barely 2 months after asking me to be his girlfriend. The way he told me was so casual, almost like it was something to laugh laugh about. He genuinely seemed to think that we'd been together for a long time and it happened at the start, so I would just brush it aside. I've always been clear that I wanted to wait a while before having sex, and he chose to sleep with someone else anyway. His justification was that it didn't mean anything and that men need sex. I don't tolerate cheating no matter when it happened, so to his surprise, I ended things. Now he's insisting I only broke up with him because I lost weight. On top of that, he's demanding I pay him back for all the gym-related stuff, which is over 2,000 pounds. He said the money was an investment and said he could take me to court over it. I have multiple text messages from him saying that it's a gift because he was proud of me for wanting to make a change and make healthier choices. Honestly, the whole thing feels ridiculous. After I broke up with him, I blocked him on everything. Good. But he keeps texting me with other phone numbers. God, that's annoying. Part of me wonders if paying him would just make him go away, but I feel like he's doing this to try to control me and perhaps get back together with him. Yeah, that's what I think is happening. Am I overreacting for refusing to pay him back? No, you're not overreacting. He's harassing you now, and you should take him to court, in my opinion, or maybe get a restraining order. If this dude is messaging you from a bunch of different phone numbers, let him go to court. That's what I'm saying. Go to court, settle it there, and then that's it. And then, hey, countersue for a freaking restraining order, dude. Let's read here. Top comment here says, LMAO, how much of a narcissist do you need to be to read, I broke up with you because you cheated on me, and still mental gymnastics yourself into thinking that your partner left you because she got fit? Seems like a classic case of the trash taking itself out. Yeah, but that doesn't solve the problem, does it? He's gotta go. Dude gotta stop. How you get him to stop messaging? IDK. You don't get it. If he hadn't done all these things for her, she wouldn't have the confidence to leave him because he was cheating on her, but now she does, so she owes him /S. Saying this with the most sarcasm ever before anyone misunderstands, he's a loser and Op is not the a-hole in any way. Here we have a delightful picture. We got a lady here kicking a man off a cliff. And then the top comment here says, that is mine now, thank you. I'll give you a second to screenshot it if you need. LOL, I'd love to see him actually try and force you to pay for any of this. Don't give him a penny and tell him to F off. Not overreacting. Wait, you went to law school and he's threatening you with legal action with only bank statements? LOL, please let him try and then make him pay for your time. Attorney fees, court costs, and anything else you can think of. You can call it an investment in your own future alone. Yeah, I think let him sue you. This dude is such a dummy, man, and oh God, he's trying to he's throwing a smoke screen in this situation. He's like, yeah, I cheated on you, not a big deal. Oh, well, it was early in the relationship. Anyway, blah, blah, and you're like, I'm sorry, what? I'm leaving you. And he goes, oh, how about you pay me back for all this stuff then? Huh? Get out of here, dude. You suck. This comment here says, I'm absolutely howling at this. As someone who used to help people take stuff to the small claims court, he would be laughed out of the building for this. He's only saying that to frighten you into paying him money back, so let's get one thing straight. You are not going to do that no matter what he says. She knows. Do you have his email address? Send him a formal email and write, Dear guy's name, I'm writing to make our conversation more formal following your threats to take me to small claims court in your attempt to reclaim funds you believe I owe you for your contributions to my weight loss. To make it clear, at no point during our relationship was any legally binding contract entered that would make me believe that the amount you claim is owed to you was repayable. As you have stated in the text messages you have been sending me, which I have attached to this email, you chose to pay for the gym membership, clothes, and to drive me to the gym when I was unmotivated. Had I been aware at the time that these things were provided free of charge only in the event of our relationship continued, I would not have accepted anything. I believe it is reasonable for me to assume that these things were provided as gifts, and as the terms were not provided to me, I find that your claim is unreasonable and unfair, as well as unlawful. However, I appreciate you may wish to take things further, and if you would like to take this through a small claims court, I will of course not prevent you from doing so. However, if you do go ahead with this, I should make you aware that your claim has no legal standing, and I will look to put through a counterclaim to recoup compensation for the emotional damages you have caused me as a result of the continued harassment over this situation, as well as any and all legal fees paid by me as a result of any claims made. Going forward, I ask that you do not continue contact via text message, as I'd like to ensure that I have a paper trail of our communication as evidence if/when requested by the courts. If you have any supporting evidence you'd like to provide me that shows that I was made aware of any charges that I would be liable for, please feel free to send this over so I can check this and ensure that I'm not being unfair in my response here. Best wishes, your name, and then he will effing shit himself. And then Op replied, this is perfect. Thank you. What a mess, man. If you're about to hold over some previous purchases for something that you bought while you were in a relationship and you're trying to like nickel and dime and get that money back, shut up, dude. You're a loser. You're lame. That's what I think when I see you. You know who's not a loser and not lame? First of all, the patrons. Shout out to the patrons. All right. Patreon.com/Daniel Thrasher. Second of all, this video here, that's not a loser. That's not lame. Third of all, you know who's not lame? Bramble the sheep, yeah. Check out the video. Check out my Patreon. We got behind the scenes stuff over there.